How's it going, everybody? Hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's Saturday afternoon, sun's shining, it's a beautiful day. And just got back from riding, just went and did a couple motos real quick. Burned up some energy, got a little bit of exercise. So I just got back into the garage. I was in the garage this morning working on a few things. What I was working on this morning was finishing up cleaning the inside of the frame rails. I got my motor mounts welded on 100%. I have to finish up this last bit of floor structure. I thought I had some longer pieces of metal, but I didn't, so I ran out. So I got a couple of scrap pieces. I'm going to scab in a piece there, get that welded in. That's the last bit of floor structure that I need to fabricate. Once that's done, I'm going to get that finished welded. And then I'm going to remove all the floor pans out of the car and then get everything cleaned up with the SCT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the rest of my afternoon and evening in the garage trying to get everything to a point where it's clean. It's somewhat rust free. I'm not sandblasting, so there are going to be some areas where, you know, I can't get into. So it's just something I'm going to kind of have to deal with. I got a couple wire wheels on drills and different things, so I'm just going to use kind of an array of tools to do the best I can in regards to trying to remove all the rust. It's just a matter of trying to get things as clean as I can get them. As far as welding goes, I finished welded, like I said, my motor mounts. I welded up that plate on the side of the frame where I removed it for the steering box. That's done. Again, I'm just kind of doing this stuff to fill in the void because I don't have all the correct pieces that I need for the clutch linkage. So just kind of doing things that need to get done that will help me move the project along once I do get those parts and I can get the clutch installed and the clutch pedals and whatnot, the clutch pedal and linkage installed. That's it. Let's get to work on finishing up that welding and then removing all the sheet metal and getting it cleaned up with the SCT. Everything's welded. Now, time to get things cleaned up. Pull all the sheet metal out. I already hit most of it with the SCT, so most of it should be ready to go for the most part. But I'll double check it, make sure things are good to go, and get everything ready for primer. I'll seal it. Alright, so I'm slowly pulling all the interior panels out of the car. I think I'm going to redo that back of this, the seat back, because it kind of potato chipped when I rolled it. And honestly, that's the only panel that's bead rolled, so it really doesn't make sense to keep it in there because you're never going to see it anyways. So I removed all the self-tapping screws from the seat pan. A little bit of finish welding to do up on the top areas. I did everything from underneath the car, so I have a little bits here and there to do. Clico tool. See my battery box in the back here. I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here on the front edge. shock parts. Gonna pull the shocks off. Alright. So now you can really get a good look at the structure in the car. You don't realize how much metal you're putting in a car as you're doing it piece by piece, but it really adds up. It's pretty cool to me. I'm looking forward to getting it in paint and sealer and every other thing. I've got my package tray I got to pull out of the back. That locks and latches nice. You can see there's my drive shaft laying on the couch. Well, the love seat, because I love it. Alright, let me pull out that package tray. Dirty. Whoops. I'm gonna run to Lowe's and grab some tape, just some regular blue painter's tape or green frog tape, and after I get everything cleaned up this afternoon or tonight, I'll start masking off everything so nothing gets paint on the outside. Mask off these windows, you know, the roof insert, all that stuff. Alright. So I'm going to get the welder out. I'm going to finish weld all these pieces of metal here. Like I said, I got a little bit up top on the tops to finish weld. That's pretty much it. Besides that, it's wire wheeling, sanding, cleaning, and masking off. That's it. I could put some caps on these, I suppose. And then I got some caps I could put on the back of these. Oh, minus some little caps here and there. She's nice and rigid now. Not that it wasn't before. I gotta figure out at some point some type of a mount with this e-brake cable. Figure out exactly what the heck is going on here. I imagine this piece goes in here. Some type of a equalizer. And then this will be my pull, my emergency brake handle, which is way up there. So, I'll get that figured out at some point. Just put a couple of, just put a loop somewhere, and I don't even know if they work. Probably not. You know, they've been sitting for almost 40 years. I'm going to run to Lowe's because what I think is going to happen is I'm going to get going with the Contour SCT, and I'm not going to want to stop. So I'm going to run to Lowe's because they're going to close, and then I won't be able to start taping stuff and plastic and stuff. I have plastic, just not tape. So I'm going to run and grab those, some tape, and then come back and start cleaning. Most of this metal is pretty good. I got some spots here and there that I got to clean up. A little bit more here and there on the frame rails, but not a whole lot. Like, I'm going to spray all inside the quarters again. Might as well. It's not going to hurt anything. Well, I'm not going to mask that off. Let's put it that way. If I get some on it, I get some on it. Rear axle. I'll pop the wheels off. I'll pull the wheels off, get the wheels out of here. Like I said, mask off the body itself. And then I'll pull the master cylinder out. The pedals, I got to sandblast the pedals, so those will come off. I was thinking about removing the front axle. I still might do that. Can't remove the back axle at the moment, but I can certainly remove the front. Alright, let's go to Lowe's. Go for a ride in the Coupe. The other one. I got two of them. What? Mike with this old hot rod. Appreciate you guys checking back in, seeing what I'm up to. It's Sunday morning. It's early. I get the heater going out back, so if you hear that, that's what that noise is. I'm in the shop, obviously, and just removed the pedals. Just tack welded on some nuts on the back side of this mount, so I can just, if I ever have to remove the pedals, I just have to climb underneath and just remove these two bolts and this bottom bolt, and the pedal will come out. But the master cylinder assembly will be able to stay on the car itself. So that's one of the really nice things about the way I set it up. So what I need to do is, one of the subscribers or one of the viewers on one of the videos had mentioned I may need to relieve some of the bottom of this housing, or the bracket for the mount for the pedal assembly, in order to get some spanner wrenches in there. I actually already had done that, and I was just looking at it real quick while I was doing all the welding and cleaning things up. And I can get wrenches in there, but for the sake of making my life a little bit easy, I'm going to relieve just a little bit more. So I'm going to use his advice. So I'm going to take his advice, and I'm going to do that. So I appreciate that very much. So I'm getting ready to do that now. And then what I need to do is, yesterday, earlier in the video you had seen, I'd gone around and welded up a bunch of stuff that needed to be welded. I'm going to go around and just kind of hit some of these with a flap disc, just kind of smooth them off just a little bit so there's no interference with any of the floors, the sheet metal. And then I'm just going to start cleaning things up. I think I have one motor mount to weld up, and the reason I left this passenger side motor mount, driver side motor mount only tacked in place was because I had actually, not knowing, at one point I had thought I had screwed up and I had staggered the motor mounts, and then like a fool I went against what I had originally done and cut the tack welds and moved it forwards. Well, it still works with the motor mounts, but afterwards I looked at the motor mounts on the motor, and those Hurst motor mounts, one as the driver's side is actually set back about 3/4 of an inch. So I made some measurements. I cut the tack welds yesterday, moved it back about 3/4 of an inch, so now it's going to be exactly where it needs to go. There is 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches of play. The holes elongated in the Hurst mount, So I did have room to mount the motor, and it was fine. It wasn't cockeyed at all. But I just want to keep it symmetrical the way it's supposed to be. So I moved this back 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to get this welded. And like I said, that's pretty much it as far as the welding goes. I think I'm at the point now where it's just going to be flap discs and wire wheels and the SCT and anything else I can get in here to get this thing cleaned up. And then I'm going to wipe everything down with acetone and then just stop masking things off. So I'm going to get this relieved real quick, and after that, start cleaning things up. So you can see on the ends of these tubes, I'm going to get these cut flush, nice and straight, and then cap these off. So I got one here and obviously one here. That's where my shifter is located. And then also on the back of these here, on the back of these tubes that go down, I got to clean up this weld. I need to fill this tube here in the back of this one. And there's enough overhanging on the back side of the hoop where it should line up flush. About 1/8 of an inch, which is the wall thickness of these tubes. So I just got to get those two caps cut, and then these two here. And then I think I should be pretty good. Oh, I see a little bit of weld right there. I got to weld up. So it's stuff like that. I'm sure I'm going to find more as I'm cleaning things up with the wire wheels and whatnot. But I'm going to get to work on cleaning those up, get those plugged up. And the same as those two in the back for the seat bottom. Yeah, and then just keep picking away. Seems as though the list keeps getting longer. That's not supposed to... That's not how it's supposed to be. Alright, so I'm going to just get those measured up. I'm going to get those cut real quick, and then I'll measure them. And then I'll get some pieces to fill in the ends. Get the back ones. watch yourself. Stepping on air tools. Man, this thing kicked back. And it locked itself on there. Oh, pretty good. Took Izzy for a walk this morning. Went out in the woods and there was some briars and I moved my head real quick because I got caught on the briars and man, I heard something go in my neck. Now my neck hurts. Always something. Alright, well, besides that motor mount, which that's easy to get to, everything on the floor structure and everything I think is pretty good, so I'm gonna get to work. Oh, nope. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 more spots to weld, but those are easy to get to, so I'm gonna start wire wheeling and cleaning things up. Minus a few spots that are really easy to get to. I think everything on the floor structure and you know, transmission and all that other stuff, I think everything's for the most part all set and welded. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break out the wire wheel and try to get some of this metal cleaned up in the spots that I really couldn't get to with the SCT and my little grinder. So wish me luck. Would you care to join me?